ChatGPT can now really be your financial advisor. Whether you're talking about basic finances, savings, or something more advanced like investing or FIRE, or that is actually financial independence, retire early, it can really help. And in this video, we'll focus more on the latter. Namely, FIRE is becoming more popular around the world, and there are already some great online calculators, which I will link into the description, but ChatGPT can actually do some amazing thing on its own. So let's get started. Let's ChatGPT become our financial advisor. Okay, so head on to the ChatGPT and let's ask him something. Hi, can you be my financial advisor? Great. Okay, so he gave me some summary, but I'm not interested in any of those. I'm interested in something else. So let's ask him some interesting question that will perhaps guide us on how to achieve financial independence based on our current status. So let's say we have 40 years, we have around 200, 300K saved. We also have some small flat renting for $500 monthly. And let's say that I'm spending around $1,500 monthly. And at 65, I will be able to collect my 401k or my pension, depending where you are living. Can you please calculate if I will go broke or I'm good in the FIRE model? Basically asking if with current years, money and some savings and some additional income, is it okay to stop working, I don't know, in some corporation or in some dull job you really don't want to do? So let's ask it. Click. Okay, so let's see what we got. Thanks for sharing. Let's break this down. Age 40 savings. Okay, he's repeating what I have. Annual expenses. Fine. FIRE number. The general FIRE number is annual expenses times 25 equals FIRE number. So, okay, that's the amount you would ideally want invested to generate 18K per year sustainability. Okay, projection to age 65. You don't add any more savings just to be conservative. Your investment grow at real return. You withdraw just enough to cover your current expenses, 18K a year. We'll run the math. By age 65, if you withdraw 18K per year and your savings grow 4% annually, as it should, you'd be left with about 50K in your account. So basically, you can sustain your living. Fine, that sounds very nice. Let's ask it to run some simulation and give me graphs. Okay, so he produced really nice graph. So we are starting from this point here. And as years go by, of course, our cash pile is lowering down and we go there. But still, we have money. Nice. Okay, so let's say, okay, I have side income of $400 monthly. Let's do simulation now. Okay, so you see the difference. This is green line is without side income and yellow line or orange is with side income of only $400 a month. So you see the difference in 20 years. Where would it be? Without side income, I would be left, let's say, with 50K, and with side income, you would be left with, 250K, almost as the same as it was at the beginning. So let's fine tune it. Let's ask, okay, what if, okay, now let's do the simulation having 50% in stocks, 40% in bonds, and then 10% in cash. Do the simulation. Okay, so now you see the simulation when we have 50% of stocks, 40% of bonds, and 10% of cash and 400 month side income. So you see portfolio return, mixed assets. So it's slowly going down, pretty good actually. And then here it's saying what would be the FIRE target in this specific example. So let's say, for example, that we would like to have 2 children. So calculation, if I have 2 children, standard expenses applies. Base case, no kids, current 18K year expenses. We already simulated that. With 2 children, children rearing costs vary, but the reasonable conservative average in the US is around 8K to 12K per child per year. Let's assume 10K per child per year for middle ground. You're spending extra 20K a year for 2 kids while they're still dependent, and they could be dependent depending for a long time. So let's see the simulation. Savings balance over time from age 40 to 65 with versus without kids. So no kids is the purple line, so everything stays steady, pretty good. With 2 kids, it goes very much down into the minus territory. So yeah, this is of course, as everyone know, children cost as everything costs. So when you're doing the calculation, of course, you need to bear and have that in mind. So here we have a summary, pretty good. It actually creates very nice comparison models, everything included into the equation. So no children scenario, final savings at 65, 270K. With 2 children, minus almost $500,000. that doesn't look very nice. Okay, let's do some additional things. So let's, for example, go to the simulation without kids, but now add unexpected expense of 30K at year 50. Click, let's see what will happen here. Okay, so basically because I'm here using in this account free version of ChatGPT, it cannot do advanced analysis right now, but I can try and probably in a couple of hours later. And once it's back up, it can simulate, but it can now estimate the impact roughly in plain numbers. Yes, let's do that. So you see how it really produces some pretty good things. So for example, year 50, 10 years in, instead of withdrawing 80K, you withdraw 43K. That's 30,000 hit and only reduces your balance, but it also loses your compound growth for the remaining 15 years. Using the compounding on 4.1%. Okay. Net effect by the age of 65 would be 232K left. Of course, depending on what is happening in the markets and everything else. And if Trump goes completely crazy, then of course, everyone will be left out of any cash and anything. But that's another story and another problem. Okay, good. So we have this. Let's now ask it to recommend some best ETF to investment. Okay, so here we have different core stock ETFs. So Vanguard total stock market, entire US market, very small expense ratio, pretty good for investment for the long term. Then Vanguard S&P 500, we know what is that. Then Schwab, US broad market, US stocks, international, Vanguard total international, which include developed and emerging markets. Pretty good and complements VTI nicely. Then we have some other, then we also have different bond ETFs. And then we have also cash short-term options for example, BLI shares 1 to 3 month treasury. Pretty good details. And then we have, for example, sample portfolio, 30% VTI, 30%, 20% VXS, plus WU and VIA, 40% bond, and then some cash and treasury bills. Let's say, for example, I would like to own the whole world market. So here are the best ETFs. Those are here Americans, and here is all stocks outside US, so VXS. Then we have, of course, one of the most popular investments for the long term, Vanguard Total World Market Stock ETF. It's entire global stock, US and international. Expense ratio 0.07, very small, and tracks over 9,000 companies worldwide. Super easy to manage and no rebalancing needed. Basically, if some company becomes bigger than the other company or the country, then the rebalancing will happen by itself. Now, every ETF contains a lot of Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, etc. This could change in the future. Fine, we have also now. Let's ask you the following. So that we see country portfolio in Vanguard Total World ETF. So this is what it looks like. United States, 63%, Japan 6%, United Kingdom, China, Canada, Switzerland, etc. Let's now ask you the following. Per region. Okay, as we suppose, now we are given 2 different responses. So North America 64%, Europe 17%, Asia almost 17%, then Latin America very small, and some also smaller regions very small. Okay, so now let's ask also the following thing. So to compare the performance of the last 10 years of Vanguard Total World versus S&P 500, let's see what it will create. Okay, so here you see, so we have annualized return very badly, of course, in 2008, then pretty good year 2009, then 2011, not so good. Very good year, 2013. This is all for Vanguard total world. Then we have 2017, very great year. 2019, great and pretty good all around. We'll see where will 2025 be. For now, we are not standing very good, and this data is currently not correct, but that depends on which version of ChatGPT you're using and which data it has. But yeah, it is pretty good what we managed to create here and have a ChatGPT as kind of a personal finance advisor. So we did create different simulation projections, summaries, tables, saving balance, everything, and all of that in free version. I on purposely wanted to have free version here so that you see what can be done without the plus. Of course, you will have some limitations after a number of iteration of ask, because doing simulations requires there more processing powers, and I think you can do only a couple of simulations per day. But you see, graphs are pretty great. Everything is being done very reasonably as you are doing or using many different fire calculators or doing your own Excel spreadsheets where you spend a lot of time. Basically, you can create the Excel spreadsheet and the whole simulation here in a couple of iterations and scenarios. Pretty good. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you are having your good financial plan, and I hope that you like this video. If you do, please do like and subscribe, and we'll talk some other time. Have a great day. Bye bye.